to kick off the school year. Then some soccer, so we head to the pitch. It's the Duluth Marshall Hilltoppers making a trip to the home of the Cloquet Lumberjacks. Lumberjacks representing 3 Northland schools in Cloquet, Esco, and Carlton. Off to the races we go. Foster Schultz taking it all alone, weaving between 2 defenders, and yet finding his way out and about to showcase the big boot. As pretty as it gets, Marshall on top early, 1-0. Not too long after, Ricardo Marcel would go coast to coast, flying past everyone in sight. Gerard Morzik gets the feed. Lefty shot bounces off the crossbar. Benson Peterson tries to recover, but the keeper is all over it, so we stay locked at 1-0 for now. On the corner, Max Sundquist looking like a QB1 out there, sends it in. Colin Young with the header and the goal, so we're all square at 1. Still in the first half, Ben Schramm comes out of nowhere, shocking all the Hilltoppers out there, finding the back of the twine to take the lead for the Perp. It's 2-1, and the home team wouldn't allow a single goal in the next 45, only adding to their own total to pull away with the 5-1 win over Marshall. And up on the hill in Hermantown, the Hawks had an evening pitch meeting with the Hibbing-Chisholm Blue Jackets, and it didn't take long for the ball to get rolling. Just 27 seconds into the game, a Hermantown cross finds senior Brennan Malmstrom. Left corner just out of reach for the Jackets keeper, and they take the early lead. A few minutes later, Jasper Markovic picks up Hibbing's loose change, decides he can spare a dime, tosses this one up to his streaking senior Braden Malovich, who makes it 2-0 on the header. Now just 8 minutes till intermission, comes back into the picture, lines this one up, and leaves the keeper in the turf, bottom right for the Hawks' 3rd goal of the night. But that wouldn't be all, as Hermantown would continue to add on to the lead, scoring 2 more goals by the final whistle to win 5-0 in a shutout fashion. So the